All right, Captain. Currently, you are stationed on Earth, and you've been called to one Admiral Marcus to report to his office at Starfleet headquarters. You find yourself walking through the hallways at the headquarters. As you approach the office door, you notice it seems rather quiet, and it's kind of bustling, but apparently there's not a lot of people around at this time, especially for this time of day.
Okay.
But yes, you're at Admiral Marcus's door to his office.
I'll press my finger to the door chime.
And you hear the enter through the intercom speaker.
I'll step in.
As you walk in, you see...
sir. Oh, sorry.
That's fine. As you walk in, you see Admiral Marcus standing beside his desk, and over to be his right, your left, is standing a human-looking female, but she's dressed in a Klingon-style uniform. Marcus comes and is like, Captain, please take a seat, and don't mind our guest here.
Very well, sir. I go to sit down.
Captain, I have asked you here to give you a new assignment and orders. I am placing you in command of the USS Azure, a Constitution-class starship. Since you have experience in dealing with Klingons here, I have a special assignment for you, as he kind of motions over to his esteemed guest. A trade consortium has requested the aid of Starfleet in dealing with a rather delicate matter in a region of space we know little about. Since the investigation does take place close to both Romulan and Klingon, the Klingon, having little luck of their own investigation, have reluctantly agreed to allow a single Federation vessel to travel within their borders to investigate this matter for the trade consortium. Currently, trade routes have been disrupted in this region of space, and the continued disruption of these routes can have dire consequences. Because of the nature of these consequences of this mission, it has been highly classified and is strictly off the books. Not even the Klingon government will be aware of your mission. You are to head to the Dolium System, which currently inhabits a pre-warp civilization. We don't believe the Zaldans are the cause of the issue, since they lack faster-than-light technology. The disturbance seems to be centered around this system. Our Klingon guest here will accompany you along this mission to make sure her people's sovereignty is upheld. You'll be given a You have been given a flight plan and directory that you must follow. I expect you to uphold the prime directive in dealing with the Zaldans if you are to enter their system, so no contact at all with them. And you are to respect the Klingons in their space, meaning do not go off course. Do you have any questions?
Admiral, do we have any assurances that the Klingons and any patrolling ships will give way should we be challenged on our flight plan?
From what I've told, Cronin here has made arrangements that the ship, while during her time, will avoid all Klingon patrols.
In the event of possible interaction with wandering Klingon ships, are we to evade and move away, or are we to announce ourselves, considering the nature of the mission?
You are to evade. I will tell you though that the course does take you awfully close to the neutral zone. There is a region of space that is unclaimed by neither side, including the Federation. However, due to the nature of this disruption or disturbance, it's highly advised that you do not approach the neutral zone because the Romulans have aligned or appear to be deploying ships near the region and along their borders. Along with the Romulans. Yeah, did I say Rom or Klingon? Did I say Klingon?
You said Romulans.
Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah, it's the Romulans.
Am I at liberty to disclose our mission details to the officers of my ship, or am I to keep this to myself with minimal interaction?
You may discuss this with your officers aboard your ship. However, you cannot discuss the mission details to anyone outside of it.
That is all the questions I have, Admiral.
And your crew will also be restricted to those same as well. Their mission is not to be discussed outside of the Azure.
Very good, sir.
If anything else, your ship awaits you on Starbase 1. She is currently docked, and your crew has been assembled. I believe you are aware of who will be your first officer. Lieutenant Commander Azure. How do you say the last name?
Azra?
Keithran.
Keithran, yeah.
I was served with her, yes. Fine officer.
She has been selected as your science and first officer for this mission. If there is anything else, Captain, you are dismissed.
Thank you, Admiral. I stand. I look to the guests and I nod respectfully to them. And I begin making my way to a transporter room, I imagine, to beam up to the starbase.
All right.
Sound effects.
I did not upload one for the toss. We'll use TNG, I guess, for now. Why are tokens being dropped? We'll cut to the actual bridge of the ship. And this is a roleplay scene, whatever you guys want to do.
Who's our chief engineer?
Currently not here.
Are we orbiting or in space dock?
You're currently in space, but
Okay, I guess I'll be taking the center seat until the captain gets here then.
Is the Azure a new ship?
yes and no. She's been recently refitted.
Okay. Can we make her go faster? Or at the very least, have I noticed any sort of ways that I can make improvements on my own end?
I mean, you would have to coordinate with engineering on that to increase, warp capabilities of the ship, but that's going to have to be like an extended task for. I'll have to make an extended test out of it.
Is Roll20 incredibly loud for anybody else?
It's fine for me.
I turned down the sound of. Is it too loud?
My sound's at 50% though.
I'll drop a little bit there.
So we're all already assigned and on the ship?
Yes, all of you are already assigned on the ship, and this is a chance to roleplay any scenes, interactions of meeting people that you wish.
If engineering is here, I'd like to actually talk with them.
They're not here yet.
Okay. In that case, I might actually be in engineering. Just sort of, there's probably something completely taken apart, like something non-essential, but something that you like. There's definitely like a bit more. There's definitely more exposed wiring than there should be.
Ensign Matisse will be kind of like legs crossed at her station, but she's not really paying attention to the computer. She seems to be messing around with her data pad.
Okay. By about this time, Captain, I would say you're probably walking through the starbase and pretty much about to enter the ship.
I'll find a communication panel, and I'll press a button to the contact. Captain Falvan to USS Azure. Respond, please.
Commander Keithran here. Hello, sir.
Is the ship prepared for my boarding?
They're finishing the last bits up right now. It should be safe for you, sir.
I think there's a little bit of ceremony that's supposed to happen here.
Yeah, I was wondering if a captain asks for permission to come aboard a ship he's assigned to. But I don't...
I mean, from what I saw in the original series, there's like all the officers are supposed to be gathered and you're supposed to be whistled on board by the bosun. They did that at least once or twice.
Oh,
yeah, I
that's
can
true.
gather everyone in the cargo bay if that's cool.
Well, by the airlock. Let's say we're gathered by the air, because that's where he'll be coming in.
All right, so I gather everyone to the airlock and line them up, and I contact him and let him know that everything's ready.
Very good. And I will board the Azure.
And ensign blows the whistle, and everyone snaps to attention. Captain on deck.
I'll look around and step up to each of the senior officers and try to just stare at each of you for a moment. No particular, Vulcan, so no particular motion, just stare, and then walks over to the next person, stare, until I'm done with everyone. All the senior staff. I don't do that with everybody that's there.
You're gonna get not the slightest twitch, not the slightest motion, just absolute like stalwart, like no visible change even after your attention from the doctor.
Same from your security officer, although his eyes do move up and down a little bit, like You're sizing him up, and he's sizing you up at the same time.
From the XO, you get a slight nod and an even slighter smile.
Am I even technically senior staff?
You'd be bridge staff, so you'd be further, closer to the door, so technically. Enough that
Cool.
I'd stare at
So-
you.
All right. So as you pass, Matisse doesn't flinch, doesn't make eye contact, but as you walk away, she's kind of watching you out of the corner of her eye.
What is Matisse's role?
Communications officer.
Okay.
Lieutenant Commander Kithron. I come bearing orders from the Admiralty, and I am taking control of this ship.
Captain Falvan, I hereby relinquish control of the ship. Ready to get underway.
All right, all bridge staff to the briefing room. We need to coordinate what we're going to be doing here. But otherwise, we can instruct whoever is the flight controller can instruct the bridge to break us away from Stardock at this time and prepare us to get underway while we brief. Briefing in, we'll say, 30 minutes. That is all.
Dismissed.
The doctor's gonna come up and extend his hand to you. Captain?
Hello, and you are? And I shake your hand.
My name's Lieutenant Commander Shran, sir. But, I'm your doctor.
Ah, Chief Medical Officer, yes?
I seem to be having more and more titles these days, sir. Yes, that's me.
The nature of the job. Do you have any concerns that you wish to bring up with me, Doctor?
Not at all, Captain. Just, wanted to meet you before we got underway.
Oh, what race is Shran, by the way? I assume Andorian?
Yeah, Andorian.
Well, it is indeed a pleasure to meet you. I look forward to a fruitful endeavor in the future. Hopefully, you will have very little to do aboard this ship beyond experimentation.
Well, I hope that you'll take us to some exciting places, Captain. Feedback on not really a ship, not really a fan of being on a starship.
Oh, Starfleet has a way of making things interesting, whether one wishes that or not.
Yeah, knowing our luck.
Nod. I will see you in briefing, Doctor, unless there's anything else.
You get a nod and a sir, and then he heads off.
Real quick, what's everyone's race again? I just wanted to note that in my notes here.
Iva is a Vulcan.
Matisse is a Delton.
Shran is a Andorian.
Emers Katian, yeah?
Cation,
Yeah.
yes.
Cation. A Vulcan leading Andorians. There's a picture.
Captain, your communicator goes off. You're being
I take out my communicator, flip it out. Captain Falvan, go ahead.
Captain, this is a transporter room 1. The starbase has like a high priority transport inbound. They request that you be here.
Very well, transporter. Stand by. I'll be on my way. Lieutenant Commander Kethron, with me.
Aye, sir.
I stride my way to the transporter room.
And with them leaving the ship, Sean is going to head up to the bridge and basically watch over the bridge while they're gone.
I'm gonna follow them as the doctor because it might be a new person coming on board now. One of my purview.
And Matisse will be heading back to the bridge to resume her station.
I'd like to time Iva's returning to bridge along. You know what? I'll wait a bit. I have.
So we're gonna go do the transporter room scene real quick. As you enter the transporter room, the chief is kind of standing there, like nervously, like it's the first time he's ever beamed up a high priority target or a high priority individual. He knows just like Captain.
Are you ready to go, Chief?
Yes, sir. We have. I have the coordinates. You can transport whenever you.
Very well, proceed.
And dematerialize is the same Klingon woman that you saw, Captain, in Admiral Marcus's office. While she does have a light luggage on her, she seems rather unpleased with recent things. She goes, Captain.
Honorable lady. Welcome aboard the Azure. Do you need any assistance?
Just show me to my quarters.
I can handle that, Captain.
Very well. Treat her with all respects. She is an honored guest here aboard our ship.
Of course, sir.
Honored lady, I introduce Lieutenant Commander Asra Kithran, my executive officer or first officer, and this is our doctor and chief medical officer. I leave you into their care, if that does not offend.
She kind of like sizes up the two of you and notices your Andorians. Like, Andorians are known to be fierce warriors.
She smirks.
The doctor's gonna look intensely displeased at the sight of a Klingon.
Just so you're aware, she does look human, but obviously she's in Klingon, wares. And
So she's not. So are we talking looks human as in looks completely human, like looks like a human Klingon battle armor? Or are we talking
yeah, looks like a human in Klingon battle armor. Except
like
the darker skin and darker hair color.
So like the TOS Klingon just looks like a TOS Klingon.
Looks like a TOS Klingon, yes.
Wait, I'm getting confused. So are we saying she is a TOS Klingon, or are we saying she is definitely not a Klingon?
No, she is you can do a medical scan, but from your knowledge, technically Klingons look like TNG Klingons. The augmented Klingons are rare and they're not really seen a whole lot.
So she could look like... I'm confused.
She looks human. She looks human. She's in a Klingon uniform.
We've probably encountered augmented Klingons before, right?
I mean, would someone who has dealt with Klingons quite a bit recognize them as Klingon?
If you're saying that you've been on the battlefield and like hand-to-hand combat or seen hand-to-hand combat, you notice that there are some you might have seen, a Klingon that looks kind of human on the battlefield, but you've also seen the other type of Klingon on the battlefield as well.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stand by my disapproval based on the possibility and the look of the armor.
I'd also like to get into this turbo lift.
Anyway, real quick before we get to the transporter room, my name is Karana, House of Molkor. It is a pleasure to meet you.
I'm Commander Kithron. You already met the captain.
I'm Commander Shron. Nice to meet you.
Doctor, she notices you kind of like disapproving. She's like, "Is there a problem, Commander Shron?"
Nothing that me and a lot of Klingons didn't settle years ago.
Quick question: did the commander also fought in the one in that war, Discovery?
Yeah, so I don't want to give away too much backstory, but Shron is a veteran of the ground forces in the war that Discovery represents, which I think is 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Well, you seem to be getting along famously. I leave you to it. I have my duties. Honored lady, officers. And at that point, I stride out of the room.
What was her name again?
Kran or Krana? Yeah, Krana. Can't say.
Can you spell it? I'm gonna write it down.
Krann.
Sorry, you cut out. What was that?
Kranna.
Got it. Thank you. Karana,
She
after
is.
you.
It's of House Molkor. Mokor. Very well. And I'm assuming the doctor's going along.
Yeah, I would like to see you in the sick bay just to make sure you haven't brought anything on board.
I think that's reasonable, don't you, Karana?
He is trying to insinuate something here too.
To Kithron.
While I appreciate your notable sentiment, I can't talk. My mouth is dry. Sorry.
Sentiment.
Sentiment, yeah. I currently have diplomatic status, and I am refusing your right to scan me at this time. Just show me a way to my quarters.
I turn to the doctor and I say, go ahead to the briefing. I'll meet you there in a few minutes.
You get a sir and a bow, and I leave.
So on the way to her quarters, I'm just going to let her know that there's obviously a little bit of tension, and as long as she doesn't go out of her way to cause any trouble, then she shouldn't have any trouble from us.
She kind of tells you as long as you stick to your agreement, there shall be no issues.
Agreed.
And with that, we will cut to the bridge.
Iva has arrived at the bridge. And also, I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Lieutenant Moore is probably begrudgingly heading from engineering to the briefing. Oh, whatever. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm curious, what kind of emotional feedback am I getting from the bridge, particularly from the people who were like there to greet the captain when he boarded?
From Sean, you're definitely getting a little bit of anxiety, being as he's never served under a Vulcan before. And he still holds a little bit of a grudge for them spying on them from Pajem during the Enterprise era.
Okay.
If you read the Cation when he gets here, he's just irritated that he's not back in engineering. Of course, I think I dwarf everybody. Everybody's small to me anyway. I think like 6'7".
How tall are you?
About
You're
6'7", 6'8", something like that.
Yeah, Sean is like 6'2".
Well, Cations are tall and lanky, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming at this time the captain has arrived on the bridge.
I'm currently waiting in the briefing room.
Oh,
yep,
As
that's
is
where
the
I was
doctor.
headed. Yeah.
and I'm literally watching the bridge until like the last minute, being the last one to walk in, making sure everything's squared away on the bridge. But I show up on time, of course.
As do I.
Sorry, what did I miss?
All right, well,
Everyone's in the briefing room.
I'm assuming at this point everyone has arrived in the briefing room and take it.
You cut out for a moment.
Everyone, I'm assuming, is now in the briefing room. So go ahead and with your briefing, Captain.
Officers, I am your captain, Lieutenant Captain Falvan, and currently we are on a mission of high secrecy to look into a disputed area. Apparently, some trade is being disrupted in a region of space. I believe the flight controller has gotten the data put into the computer. There's a specific flight plan we are not to deviate from. The Klingons have deigned to allow us to travel through their space in a quiet manner, and we are to respect that lane of service. They're also going to be investigating the area, but we'll be independently investigating as it is a neutral area that we are investigating. We're also under orders not to interact with a pre-warp civilization known as Zaldans or Zoltans in the Dolium System. Are there any details or questions at this time regarding our current orders?
Yes. On the way down, I noticed a Klingon on board. Is it say? Is she here? What is her? What is she? With us? And is there a Federation counterpart on any vessels you know of?
Krana is a representative of the Klingon Empire, a guest of ours who is to ensure that we respect Klingon sovereignty. Also, the Empire has a vested interest in the trade disruption, so that is another reason why she is here. But her primary purpose is to ensure we don't infringe on Klingon sovereignty.
Captain, if you don't mind me asking, you said this mission is one of secrecy. So what am I to say if we are hailed by Klingon vessels?
You are not to respond. Our standing order is to evade any Klingon ship that happens upon our path, but I have been briefed that the path we are taking should be clear of any patrol vessels.
Noted.
Captain, are we expecting any trouble from the Romulans? I've noticed that the flight path that I'm looking at right now takes us awfully close to their space as well.
Very observant. Indeed, we will be close to their space. We have been advised to, even during our investigations, to stay well clear of the neutral and undisputed territories, as the Romulans, according to intelligence, have their ships on the watch, as it were. But there's no brief that they intend to breach or infiltrate the neutral area or Klingon space at this time.
I have a question, Captain. Do we know what kind of ships we may encounter? Because that will play into my list of things to do in engineering.
At this time unknown, assume possible Klingon ships or Romulan ships in the area, likely of small design and of less than battle cruiser nature. But at this time, there's no confirmed ship in the area other than what's supposed to be trade ships. The system we are going to investigate should have no warp-capable ships.
Okay.
You may wish to check the ship's computer to see if there's any records of Zaldan sublight ships, if they're of anything to note. So we are to avoid them at all costs. Prime directive, of course.
Yes, Captain. I believe my first thing in engineering will be to check the power supply for the phasers, just to run a diagnostic, and the shields. And then I will run a few diagnostics on the engine, and hopefully it all checks out, and we'll be all right.
Is the Azure ready to fly otherwise?
Yes, sir.
Altera, there are a list of suggested improvements I think could be made to the ship's engines to help increase speed up to upwards of 2%. While this mission will most likely have a very determined velocity, if we have a more timely nature, it may be for the best to get there as quickly as possible.
Is Altera your name in this campaign too?
No, it's Falvan.
I'm sorry.
Falvan.
No, it's fine. I also thought that for a second. I'm very confused about all the names. Like, I'm just hoping we all refer to ourselves in third person, because otherwise I will have no idea.
Well, we can fix
Any adjustments?
Sorry.
Any adjustments you wish to do to the ship, I wish you to clear through the Chief of Engineering and through the Executive Officer here. But as long as it doesn't affect the operations of the ship critically, I see no particular need, but I will have experts look over your work. But otherwise, speed is always something to work on for a ship.
You can see Iva are we sitting or standing?
I'm standing. I would have motioned everyone to sit down.
It is a conference room?
Yes.
She kind of bounces in her seat slightly at that sound before suddenly stopping, like at the you may make your changes and speed is important. And then she simply sits quietly at attention and says, "Aye, sir."
Iva, are you well?
Yes, sir, I am. Why do you ask?
Forgive me, but you seemed excited. No offense meant, of course.
Sir, I may be your character's Vulcan as well, right?
Yep.
Sir, we all know that Vulcans are emotional creatures. We just mostly learn how to hide it. Some better than others.
Very well. Just wanted to be sure. Any other questions regarding the mission or concerns that you wish to raise?
Captain, I believe, considering where we're going, regardless of the assurances from our Klingon friend and Starfleet, I think we should, you, me, and the security officer, prepare for the worst.
You may have the ship at yellow alert during our travel. That seems as per regulation. If you have any particular notes or additional security measures you wish to bring up, we can talk about that in detail in my quarters. Unless you believe it's something the rest of the staff needs to be made aware of at this time.
Not at this time, no, sir.
Captain, I am fully supportive of of the idea of being on our toes when anywhere near a Klingon, but I would caution you on overexerting the crew. If this is a voyage of many days, constant yellow alert, it's unhealthy.
First Officer, Chief of Security, do you believe the crew able to maintain... how long do you believe they're able to maintain yellow alert status?
For me, I think we could maintain it for at least a couple days. Probably add a couple extra rotations in just to make sure the people don't get burnt out, but that'd be all.
My engineering staff, 3 days shouldn't be an issue, at least.
Very well. We'll move with all haste during the 3-day periods when we're at a lower alert status for the purposes of rest and recuperation. We will slow our pace to ensure that we are more or less likely to encounter other ships.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
I just kind of look at the captain and go, "Captain, may I please be excused? I have to go deal with an EPS rupture on deck 4.
Very well.
Thank you." And I get up and head to deck 4.
The rest of you, you're dismissed. I shall be to your stations. I shall go to the bridge. I imagine I should expect to sit down, make myself known.
And
Go ahead.
As Rake is leaving the conference room, Sean is gonna look him up and down, sizing him up as well. Kind of wary that he might not be able to take this guy.
He notices the look and just kind of smirks as he passes. He knows he can take this guy, and walks off. But he's going to deck 4 to, yeah.
And of course, Sean is going to his station.
Keith Ryan sees this little interaction and smirks.
The doctor's gonna follow the other officers out onto the bridge and stand kind of behind the captain and near the communications office.
Then Ava, you notice on your console that all decks report ready for departure, and the ship is ready to underway.
I'd like to report that in.
Very well. Helm, set course to flight plan. Maintain cruising speed at your leisure.
You're still in dry dock, or you're not. You're still in docked inside the starbase right now.
Yep. So maneuvering thrusters until we clear the station, then full impulse to Jupiter, and then warp. I believe is how it goes. Sorry.
Unless you pull a Kirk and go ahead and go to full impulse inside the starbase.
I wait to see what the flight controller does.
Sorry about that. What did you just say?
I wait to see what the flight controller does. Helmsman, I should say.
Right. I'm gonna go carefully at first.
You don't have to make the check if you want, but you can make a maneuver check to maneuver yourself out of the starbase if you like. But mostly it's zero. It's going to be a 0 difficulty, so there's a chance for you guys to gain some momentum to start with.
What would you say that is? Control con?
Control con, assisted by the ship, engines, and con.
Okay. I believe I have a focus in that as well. Well, no, I don't think... Wait, no, not in maneuvering thrusters. Yeah. First roll of the game.
No, you didn't pick one of your attributes. It says null attribute.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess you didn't hit your control one.
Yeah, I didn't actually click that one. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Generates 1 momentum, so we have 3?
You have 1 momentum.
Okay.
It's the first dice roll of the game. Now you have 2. The ship easily pilot the ship easily out of the dry dock, and you have successfully cleared all the mornings. You're out of space dock, and you're headed off past Luna.
Maintain green alert status until we're approaching Klingon space.
Roger that, Captain.
Okay, so pretty much the moment it's clear and Iva is clear to go to warp, she pretty much punches it to be as close as you can get to the stated speed that she needs to go at without going quite over.
So maximum speed, or?
Oh, definitely max. If we're going at any speed, then yeah, definitely maximum.
You're going at warp 7. Just so you know, it's the trip technically is going to take you guys probably a couple weeks because you're going through a lot of space.
Yep. So I see a montage I see a montage of Rake just like looking and doing all kinds of diagnostics on the engineering equipment. You know, doing tests on the redundant engine systems and yeah, making sure it all works.
I guess during this time, I'm gonna check out all of the crew to make sure none of them are dying.
We're all dying, Doctor.
Oh, there's one more thing during the couple of weeks. You know what? Never mind. We'll do it later. Continue.
You can do it now. There's still time.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it was basically going to be, yeah, these ships don't have holodecks yet.
Actually, according to Gene Roddenberry, there was a holodeck on the original Enterprise. They just did not have the money to implement it.
Well, that
I
is
like to think
excellent.
I like to think that the old holodecks were not exactly like the fully featured AI capable infinite world. It's more like you ask the computer to set like a basic scene, like a tennis court, a Victorian house, and then you sort of bring the stuff that you want to act out in it. So like
Well, my thing is after my shift, one of the nights I get a hold of Lieutenant Commander Sean and ask him to meet me at the holodeck.
And Lieutenant Commander Sean just acknowledges, basically asks you what time, and when you tell him what time, he says he'll be there.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you want to go to somebody else or if you want us to continue doing this, because that'll be cool too. Because when he gets there, the room is all set up and there's just an old, like, Japanese, like, fighting ring kind of thing. Basically a sumo ring with sand and, like, the rope or whatever. And, more is in, civilian type clothes, kind of, like, stretching. And, whenever the lieutenant commander gets there.
And he walks in, he's basically in kind of like sweatpants and a small t-shirt. He doesn't know exactly what he's there for, but he's ready for anything. He's brought his Ushan, he's brought a couple different things with him.
Well, it's good to see you, Lieutenant Commander. I have one request before I ask you or let you know what we're doing here. One, our ranks do not come into play here. We are just rank and yeah. All right.
Oh no! Anything that happens in this room stays in this room.
Good, because your humiliation you would want in this room, and I get into like a fighting stance. Basically, the Morpheus with the hand going, "Come on."
And he sees you drop into a fighting stance. He reaches to his left hip, grabs his Ushan, drops it behind him by his right side, and just gets ready.
Yep, we're basically, sparring in the holodeck is what we're doing through this.
Everything with my Ushan will be non-lethal. I am stating that now.
So if you could, Prax, let us know what we need to roll for this.
Well, it depends on... So we'll go by, I guess... Are you guys the same rank?
Yes, we're both lieutenant commanders, I believe.
No, I'm a lieutenant. That's why I said rank should not come into play.
Right,
Okay.
But we're going to go by rank on who goes first.
Okay.
That's fine.
So yeah, you guys can start, but I believe it would be... Strands go first. Or no, Tabins go first.
Yeah, it also should be a contested roll, daring security.
So yeah, it'll be contested, but yeah, roll me a daring security.
And
By
is
all
that,
means, you first.
Okay. Here goes.
Both of you need a roll.
Yeah. Okay, so I got 2.
Yeah, I'm either waiting on mine or it's just not wanting to go. There it goes. I
Ooh,
got 3.
You got 3.
So
you roll damage. I think.
yes, you rolled. Go ahead and roll damage. Reich.
Oh!
I think this fight's over.
Same.
One punch.
So
Punch!
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
that's 12 damage.
That was with my claws.
Is that right? I don't think that's right. That's too many dice.
No, that's
5 challenge dice, yeah.
You have a 5 in
you
security.
rolled 6. You rolled 6 though.
It says 5 on my thing. I'll just take one
You
of them out.
gotta hit enter.
Well,
you gotta
no,
hit
I
enter
have
the
it.
bot.
I have
Yeah,
it set up on my weapons.
it
On
should
your
be.
roll, does it say
It,
5?
I mean, if it's only supposed to be 5, just take one off.
no,
It's
but on your the weapon sheet, it needs to be at 1 because unarmed is 1 die. So it'd be a total of 5 challenge because it automatically adds your security on the sheet.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
So it'd be
It'd be like 1 plus your security of what it should come out to.
So it's gonna be 10
Which is fine.
damage. It'll be 10 damage instead of the 12. But
Yeah.
so what stress does that put you at, Caleb?
That puts me with 4 left. Or no, excuse me. 5 left.
So you take an injury. It's non-lethal.
I'm gonna spend my determination to avoid it.
Oh, I was gonna give you that neat little scar on your chest, right then and there.
Okay, so you spend determination. So the next time you get hit with an injury, it will be considered lethal. The first one.
Okay. I don't plan on that. So I think it's your go, right?
Yeah, after seeing that I may have overdone it, I retract my claws back in and just open fist it, or punch.
Yeah.
Okay, so you lose the piercing and vicious.
Yeah.
So it's your roll. I'm gonna spend a momentum to get 3 dice.
Of course you are.
Yeah, we're not gonna need that versus the Klingons, I'm sure.
So
Well, you got
you
me.
just sort of
I got you.
So roll damage.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6.
That's lethal though, isn't it?
No, because I stated everything with my Ushan would be non-lethal.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pulling his punches with that thing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, 6 damage. Let's take 6 stress there.
Yep.
And then that's above 5, so that's 1 injury.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm good with that.
Okay, that's the cut on your eye.
Yep.
Just a slight one. It's not lethal or anything. That's the cut on your eye.
So, I'm not entirely sure this is possible, but is it possible that the computer or the internal sensors might be reporting that there's a member of the crew that is like whose vital signs are all over the place?
I mean, I wouldn't think so, seeing as we have a security team on board, and it would be coming from the holodeck.
It's technically
For training.
So the hall safeties are on, so you're not gonna like die, but the next injury that someone takes, they're gonna be knocked out, and they do need to probably go to sick bay and get healed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lieutenant Commander.
Okay, here's the roll. I'm just rolling 2 this time.
As a question, what are you guys like actually fighting with? Like, how are you guys hitting each other?
He's using his Ushan, and I'm using a combination of my fist and claws.
Goes to the Taiga, or goes to Shran.
Yeah. That's another 6.
Another 6. That's
Yep, I'm unconscious.
you're knocked out, and I'm sure you got another cut, but yeah, you're knocked out.
Yeah. At that point, I just like put my Ushan on my belt, grab you, fireman carry you. We're going to medical.
Oh God. Wait. Out of curiosity, are the hallways big enough for you to do that?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
On the Constitution? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I fireman carry you to sickbay.
I was just wondering because that's like 7 foot of cat to like carry across that way. Okay. Hey.
Make me a security fitness check to carry him.
I mean,
Oh,
let's be
boy.
real. You know.
Fitness security, 2 dice. Here you go.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. But but his legs are like dragging across the floor.
So we show up in sickbay, and I go, "Hey doc, you might want to take a look at this guy." Plop.
What in God's name is going on, Lieutenant Commander?
Oh, just a touch of sparring, doc. Not much.
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor,
How are you?
You're still knocked out.
Doctor to the
Okay.
captain and the first officer, could you all come to the sick bay?
Oh crap!
Is everything all right?
And then you'll want to come here and see it, sir.
I was going to say nothing we did was against regulation. Like, we were off duty. Yes,
Yeah.
I got Dr. Conscious,
think-
but
I'm hearing about cuts and stuff and weapons being drawn and claws being used.
It's a minor cut. It's nothing that bad, doc.
That's my decision to make, Commander.
Lieutenant Iva, you have the bridge. I start
And
making my
I'm
way
going
to the
to-
doctor's office.
I'm gonna start looking over. I'm gonna start trying to help and look over the chief engineer, and I'm gonna direct a nurse to look over Sean.
I'm gonna stand up, put my hands on my hips, and kind of halfway storm towards the turbolift because I know that if the doctor is calling me, then it's probably something stupid.
I mean, you're half right.
No, you're both stupid.
I don't know why you could have got this out of your system on Thursday.
Yeah, but we had already had this planned. Like, yeah.
They really did.
Oh no, we're getting it out of the system now.
Yeah. Yeah. This is how we get our cool scars, and that'll be it.
Alright, Doctor, give me a daring medicine check. Or control medicine check. Difficulty
Can you do
1.
that? Can you do that for me? Because I'm still on my phone.
Can I turn to the captain and tell him that he could probably just stay on the bridge and let me handle it?
I think this will be an interesting diversion. Besides, Lieutenant Iva needs more bridge hours.
Understood, Captain.
That does not count.
Let's hope not.
No, because I got the null attribute.
Oh, looks like 2 complications. No.
There you
it was
go.
superficial, and then he took out your eye.
Yeah.
I'm being lenient.
No.
I'm not going to take extra threat so far. That is going to get you guys a ship. Actually, someone also. I would say the ship could assist a little bit on this. So, medicine, computers. I don't think there's really a task for this.
I think it's either sensors medicine or computers medicine, something like that.
We'll go back. Sensor medicine sounds better. We'll go with that.
Question: did we all hear the page, or did we just see the lieutenant commander kind of?
Oh, whoever was on the bridge might have heard it.
Yeah.
And definitely the communications officer is going to have heard it. I'm sure you're listening
Cool.
to everything.
Yep.
So I'm going to turn to Lieutenant Iva and ask, so, it's an interesting ship I find myself on. Does this sort of thing happen often?
I've often observed that certain people, especially when it comes to masculinity, often need to air their grievances in a way that they can find satisfying, whether carnal pleasures or through inact violence. I've heard of some species that use, particularly earth mammals, that used to use to physically lock horns at first meeting to establish dominance. Perhaps this is something among those lines.
I'm certainly no stranger to the idea of working out your differences in a physical manner, but I don't think I was expecting it quite so soon, and from the senior staff at that.
I don't
I
think
have not had much experience with Andorians except for my first ship, but I like to think this is somewhat more common than we think. Though I at the very least hope no one has been killed.
I definitely did not mention what had
one
happened.
second, guys.
Anyway, Doctor, since you're on your phone, I will just tell you not to type it. You do notice that Rake's injuries were kind of severe, and he does have a little bit internal bleeding. But you did manage to heal it, and he'll make a full recovery.
I mean, internal bleeding, that's where the blood is supposed to be. That's okay.
What have you gotten into, Lieutenant?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I just had a feeling that the lieutenant commander needed this. He just seemed like... Yeah.
Lieutenant, I'm going to ask you, and you need to measure your answers very carefully. Did you just tell me that you thought you needed to assault a superior officer because he had it coming? Because I'm telling you, this is what I just heard, Lieutenant.
Please let me and the captain walk in at this point.
No, it's not that. It's not.
And at that moment, the captain and first officer walk in.
Think of it as a team building exercise between the lieutenant commander and myself.
Team building.
Captain, I have 2 senior officers who have engaged in a duel of some sort, and as a result caused each other serious injuries. I thought I should bring this to your attention.
Are they well to stand to attention?
Sean is already standing at attention.
Moore's kind of like, he's forcing himself up, but he stands up full upright.
They should
just
be fine,
a little slower.
Very well. Please stay like that. Now then, Lieutenant Commander Kithron, if you could enlighten me, are we at green alert currently?
She turns to the captain after glowering daggers at both of them, and she says, "I believe we are yellow alert, sir."
We were still on our way. We were still under green.
Yes, sir. We are under green alert.
You could make it yellow alert and say you're on yellow.
We are now, sir.
As of this moment.
Ah, very well then. Officers, I need you to be at fighting shape as soon as possible. Any attempts or action to slow that will displease me. That is not wise to do. So far, you're okay. However, I wish to ask, are you quite finished?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do I expect to see you in here again for similar things?
Sean kind of looks over at Rake and
then
looks back
Ray
at the
kind of
captain.
looks back and
Not anytime soon, sir.
not anytime soon, sir.
If you intend to do such a thing again, I'm going to request that you... Oh, I forgot I'm the captain. You are ordered to go to Lieutenant Commander Kithron and request permission. For your duty schedules, you might have been called to a yellow alert and been unable to attend. That would also displease me.
Sir.
But as of right now, everything seems to be fine. You seem to be ready to go to duty fairly soon, once the doctor is okay with you. Is there anything else I should be aware of? Is this a feud, or is this a matter of, what is the word, flexing?
We kind of
Flexing.
look at each other again, I guess.
And is like, and Moore just goes flexing, and also, I kind of need to know that people I may eventually go into combat with are capable. I was testing him in my own way. If
And
that
Sean
is
looks-
okay, Captain.
And Sean looks back at the captain and just goes, "Just sparring, sir."
Keith Ryan looks over at the captain, waiting his reply, but keeping that glower on her face.
Lieutenant Commander, do you have any suggestions for disciplinary action? You're more versed in this sort of thing than I am.
Technically, they are correct when they say that they did nothing wrong by the books. However, it was very much unwise to do it on an ongoing mission and not in the middle of Federation space during shore leave. That being said, if anything so much as slightly happens like this again, I will have both of your ranks.
Yes, sir.
And about the only person who can prevent that is me. So, as I said, please don't displease me. Anything else, Doctor? Are they missing a liver, perhaps?
They're fine, Captain. I just don't appreciate officers fighting among themselves when we have Klingons for that, sir.
Fair bit of advice to you two, gentlemen. To you two officers. It's not an official rule at the Academy, but I've been told that it is unwise. As unwise as it is to displease a captain of the ship, it is far more unwise to displease the doctor of the ship. So if the doctor wishes you to cut it out, or at least restrain yourselves to a degree more than you already have, that might be wise as well. But that is not an order, that is simply advice. Otherwise, you're free to continue on, Doctor. If they can go to their duties, they're to go right now since we're under yellow alert. And, yeah, I believe that's everything. Oh, and tomorrow at 0600, I expect you both to report to Lieutenant Kithron and to assist with certain physical education for the young officers. I think they'll much appreciate that. That is all. Goodbye. And just turn and
Sir.
leave.
Sir.
And grin.
And I picture like me and Rake looking at each other.
Yeah, and just like, just both let out a sigh of like, damn it.
Are we gonna be sparring with? No, he wouldn't do that.
It'd be fun though. And I just kind of go back to engineering as I walk out.
And I go back to the bridge.
I'm going to go back.
Is there any other role play you guys wish to get out of the way before we go to the next scene?
Yes, I would. Well, I might want to save this bit for later, but I would like to do a scene with Falvan soon. I assume we're the only two Vulcans on the ship, though?
There's probably a handful elsewhere aboard the ship. Constitutions are plumb full of crew. We're probably the only two senior officers aboard that are Vulcan. Yeah, if you seek an audience with Captain Falvan, unless he's tied down with anything, he responds. Lieutenant Iva, you wish to speak with me?
Oh, yeah, just not yet. I think I'm going to save that for later.
Okay. I intend to call the lieutenant commanders to a dinner with our honored guest.
Okay.
Assuming she attends, she might refuse because I'm not ordering her to because I kind of can't.
Make me a command presence roll.
Focus diplomacy.
Sure.
Does my trait come into it? Because I imagine it's opposed or a difficulty that I'm not aware of, so just bringing it up.
What was it trade again?
A friend of Klingons.
That was with the Pacific House, though, right?
It's with Klingons in general. Like I'm a respected person in their society. Like because I held rank in the Empire once upon a time.
Keith Ryan didn't know that.
I would say it would lower the difficulty by 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it difficulty 2.
Oops. Okay, that's weird. Try that again. There we go.
I'm not gonna give you any momentum for this because this was supposed to be like kind of a post check, but with your trade, I'm allowing just making it difficulty 1. She kind of reluctantly goes. She agrees, and she will meet you at the corresponding time.
I'll be attending in dress uniform.
All right. Who else was invited to the dinner?
The lieutenant's commander, so that'd be Kithron and the doctor, I believe.
And Sean, I think.
And Sean.
Sean as well. My bad.
Yeah, I'm a lieutenant commander.
I will also be in dress uniform, although I'll look very unhappy at the fact.
Yeah, I'll be in dress uniform as well.
Same.
Are we already there, or are we on our way? I want to know if I've entered yet.
I would imagine the Krana and the captain are already inside. The rest of you have not shown up yet.
I'm gonna enter and give a slight bow to the captain. Captain.
Doctor.
And I will continue. I will make another slight bow to the Klingon, but with a look of displeasure and then sit down without addressing.
Who is the more senior lieutenant, Ava or Mur?
Mir's the chief engineer.
Okay. So Keithran stands up after the others have left and turns to Ava and says, "You have to bridge," and then leaves.
I would imagine if there's small talk forever who's in there, and I'm sure the first officer will enter in at her leisure.
Yeah, Sean will be there too. He'll just probably be either right behind or right before the commander.
I go around and I introduce our honored guests to the various senior officers and their positions, and I introduce them all to her. I guess I'm almost acceding a she's very respectable, and these are my officers. Basically, very much calling out, don't disrespect them. They're mine, because that means disrespecting me.
She's trained in the ways of diplomacy, so
She isn't or is?
She is trained. She is trained in the
Ooh.
All right, I believe we can all have a seat and enjoy our food.
Question: what is the dish?
Oh, well, unfortunately, fresh gok is kind of hard to get these days, but we do have some gok aboard that will be served for yourself and myself. Can't get it live these days, but my officers will be served their normal servings, as you may like to order yourselves, good officers. Won't force you to eat gok if you're unwilling. It is not. It is a acquired taste.
Sorry. Lieutenant Commander Shran has done his best to attempt to make a brocake blood pie.
Raised eyebrow.
So make me a control science check to see how well you make this cake.
Oh crap. Okay. Control.
Difficulty 2, complication 2, and I'm gonna spend the threat to make that for you.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay. Okay, this might turn out bad. Oh!
To your surprisement, you think it's the best one you've ever made.
I can't believe I did that.
Now, the best one you ever made, that's subjective, right?
It's subjective.
It is subjective, yes. It's the best one I've ever made. Probably not the best she has ever tasted.
Keep in mind, it's probably also the first he's ever made. So, you know.
The doctor is just gonna order some Andorian fish, and he's going to offer. Would any of y'all like any Andorian ale? I've brought it on board with my personal effect. It's a nice vintage.
Sure, why not?
And
I'll take a glass.
He's gonna motion to the yeoman in the room.
Honored lady, would you like a glass as well?
I've never had Andorian ale before. Is it potable like blood wine?
It's edible.
It's the finest there is in the galaxy.
She gives a hearty laugh and thinks you're joking.
Kithron snickers.
And Lieutenant Commander Shron basically just presents his blood pie to her. Says, "Madam, I took the liberty of at least attempting to make a roqueg blood pie for
Keithron rolls her eyes.
Very well. Thank you. And she kind of looks, doesn't really know your name.
Lieutenant Commander Shron, ma'am.
Very well, Lieutenant Commander Shron. She kind of takes it, set it aside. I'm assuming at this point everyone's kind of eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do notice that as she picks up the fork and knife, she kind of looks at it puzzling and just sets it down and then digs her hands in and starts eating the gok with her hands.
I'm eating the gok, but with my hand, but with gloves on. Like, I'm willing to indulge in the Klingon, but it's like I'm used to eating gok this way.
The doctor looks very. It's not like. It's a slight tinge of disgust, but not an over. It's not super obvious, but if you're looking, you can see a bit of disgust.
You're not
So
retching.
probably only Kithran notices. Kithran's gonna kind of give the doctor a slight, not glare, but kind of like make sure he notices that she notices while she sips her cream soda.
Oh, I get that.
Oh, my
are
goodness.
you our ship's little bird?
No.
I
I mean,
propose
the cream soda was a dead giveaway.
a toast. To our shared victories, our shared enlightenment, and our shared wisdom. When we all know victory, no matter our enemies. I raise a glass to her and then to everyone else in the room, and I'll drink.
She just nods and then raises her cup.
The doctor does.
Lieutenant Commander Shron takes a old Earth adage and goes, "L'chaim."
Ooh.
So, honored lady, may I ask you a question or two? I do not know how much you're allowed to speak about your efforts with us. I do not wish to offend your honor or request you to offend it.
No offense is taken, Captain. My role here is simple. It is to observe and make sure you honor the agreement.
Is there anything else you've been asked by your honorable lord that I should be made aware of?
You have been told.
You're not going to try to take over the ship, are you?
Not unless you want me to. She
That
just kind of
present-
smirks.
Can I make an insight check?
Go ahead. Give me command insight.
Can I use the value intuition as key?
We're spending a determination?
You're gonna spend a determination for it.
Never mind. I meant my focus, psychiatry. Sorry.
No, I think this would be more like empathy. That does not count, but that is actually 2 ones, or no. Seriously?
This thing doesn't like you.
You might have to double click it. I remember us having this problem when we started out.
Yeah. You notice that she's joking in the Klingon way. Like, you would think it's a Klingon way, but she's definitely joking.
Okay, so I want to sort of chuckle. I basically want her to know that although my or Keithran doesn't particularly want to socialize with really anyone, she wants the Klingon to know basically it's not really a personal thing. So she kind of just laughs and goes back to drinking and eating, and that's it.
Once she's finished with her gah, she dips her hand into the cake that your navigation officer made, and she takes a bite.
Keithran waits with a bated breath.
Wait, the cake or the blood pie?
The blood pie.
Okay, so that's the security officer.
Yes, sorry. You're tactical, sorry. She chews it for a little bit. She's kind of unsure. She's like, acceptable. She just kind of looks like, it's acceptable blood pie.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good work getting that out of our replicator.
Who says I got it out of the replicator?
Raise eyebrow. Honored lady, if you have any during your trip, of course, to maintain your sovereignty, you are welcome on the bridge to observe my actions and the actions of my bridge crew. However, I do request that you speak and alert either Lieutenant Commander Kithron to your movement so we can coordinate and make sure that you don't accidentally come into interference of our duties. Or if the Lieutenant Commander is otherwise occupied, you can hail our communications officer, Ensign Mattis, with one of the contacts on the doors. I believe Yeoman might have briefed you on this already. I'm not sure how familiar you are with our technology.
I have been told by your admiral to remain in my quarters while you're through Federation space. I, however, would like to request while we are in my government's space to be present on your bridge.
That is acceptable to me, and a wise precaution by the admiral.
It was dealt with during our negotiations.
Ah, good. Do you have any questions or concerns you wish to raise, or any advice you have as we endeavor together into the same void of space?
Not at this time, Captain.
Very well, eat, be merry. I will keep you company. And after that, he doesn't make any other more announcements. He just goes to small talk and just being a good host, making sure no one tries to kill the our guest. Looking at you, Doctor.
Okay. I'm going to speed up a little bit. The evening dinner went on. Like I said, there was some casual talk, nothing out of the ordinary. She did not finish the blood pie, but she did take the rest of it with her back to her cabin. They were trying down good blood pie, so...
I'm afraid I have sullied the rank of doctor for you. Starix, I'm sorry.
With that, we are going to move to scene 2, which you guys will lose 1 momentum.
How many do we have?
You're at 2.
And we just lost 1, so now we're at 1?
No, you were at 3. You're down at 2.
Okay.
Several days have passed. You are now entering Klingon space. Of course, Krana is currently on the bridge with you guys. And you're coming up to what your systems have deemed Narendra. And you are currently receiving a hail from Narendra 3, an outpost in Klingon space.
Captain to the hail. Captain, we are being hailed by an outpost here in Narendra.
And the message is in Klingon, by the way.
So about that thing I messaged you about, can I translate it or do I need to show it to Krana?
You can actually translate it.
And I do.
That communications officer's cool ability is they get bonuses when they're trying to translate stuff or decrypt codes.
What should I roll for that, or if anything?
There is a roll, but I am double checking something real quick. So to open hailing frequencies, it is a control engineering task, difficulty 0. Assisted by communications and engineering.
Sweet, I can handle that.
But I am going to hand that's to open the communication line. However, to translate what's coming in, it's going to be a science reason check, assisted by the ship's computer's science.
Would I get any focuses for subspace communication computers or encryption/decryption?
It would be linguistics for the focus. And the difficulty for that check is difficulty 1. Roll the ship assisted science communications, or science computers. Essentially, you're going through the database.
Hang on 1 second, I didn't hear that.
Oh, cool. So 2 momentum?
Yep. And I sent you what the message is.
Captain, the outpost is requesting an identification code.
Honored lady.
She walks up to you, Helms officer. Sorry, communications officer. And she kind of looks at you as like, please move. Like she wants to speak directly to the comms.
I look at the captain for confirmation.
I nod.
I move.
She speaks. Javwe vach ne javach cha.
Would I need to roll to know it? I'm not sure how much training of Klingons would let me know the language, or if I'd have to roll for it.
It would be like a linguistic check, so science reason.
Okay, I'll roll that. Focus Klingon culture?
No.
Worth a shot.
I will take the complication and use it for his threat. I'm gonna give it. So essentially, I mean, it is a difficulty 1, but it's literally she just literally said an identification code, like that's what she gave them. There's no hidden message or anything like that.
Just making sure.
Over the comm, since it is open, it comes back.
Your Klingon pronunciation is really good.
I'm trying. I had a longer one. Like I could have said the other message, but I was like, I'm not saying that because it's way too long. If you want to try and translate what came out of that, you're more than welcome to.
I will.
The message loosely translate, continue on your course, and good hunting.
Hell, maintain course. Communications officer, you can return to your station. Honored lady, thank you.
She just nods and stands to the side.
I'm going to be looking over this whole time, just sort of staring at the Klingon. And when she's done, I sort of turn back and continue where I'm going and continue what I'm doing.
She kind of sizes you up a little bit. Several hours go by. Nothing to report. You kind of maintain your course and speed through Klingon territory. Your scopes and sensors remain all clear for the most part for anything that's nearby, so you're not detecting anything. However, for the comms officer, you're picking up a distress call.
Captain, I'm getting a distress call on sensors.
Is it an automated message or specific information?
Is it an automated message or specific information?
I'm not going to message you, but it repeats. So it's automated.
It seems to be automated, sir.
Does it identify itself and its affiliation?
Does it identify itself in its affiliation? I am not certain, sir. I need some time to translate it. It is also in Klingon.
Honored lady, would you please assist my communications officer?
Do you hand her the earpiece?
If he makes me.
Or are you going to put it on speaker?
Yeah, I'd rather put it on speaker, you know, germs and everything like that. Yeah, speaker is good.
All right.
I was actually going to suggest that.
So the message is... And it repeats like that. If you guys get that, I'm hoping my mic didn't cut out for that.
It did not.
No,
I
we
don't
got
know
it.
what that means.
Things were said. I'm just not sure what those things are.
It is in
Is it
Klingon.
able to translate?
Reason Science difficulty 1. And you can be assisted by the computer. Yeah, or by the ship's computer, computer science.
Okay. No clue.
Alright, I'm gonna let you guys succeed at cost. I believe that gives me 2 threat.
Wouldn't the Klingon just tell us what it is?
That's probably the succeed at cost.
That is the succeed at
Yeah.
cost.
If you trust
does it, but
the
she's
visitor to not, you know, paraphrase.
She kind of looks into. I was like, it's from the Klingon vessel IKS Amar. They are currently unattacked by an unknown assailant, and they are requesting backup.
Should we change
Captain,
course?
Captain, we have orders.
And if I may, Captain, I believe Starfleet regulation states that we must defend ships in distress. That is a rule. I remember reading.
If you want, go ahead. But no, continue. I'll be giving you too much information.
Isn't it just, this is just me asking, isn't it just Federation ships and or citizens in distress?
Nope, it's
No.
all.
But how do you know who's the kind of assailant?
You don't.
If you just, cool.
Other than the location of the signal, you don't.
Cool.
Captain,
Yeah.
I think we would be going too far outside of our orders for this.
Honored lady, you know the law of the Empire more than I do. I've been far outside of it. Do you feel honor obligated to assist?
I would love to join them in battle, and I know in the patrol routes of this course, the MR will surely, probably, the crew will die in an honorable battle.
May they succeed in battle. Maintain course.
Hi, Captain.
So you continue on your course. It's Ava,
Actually,
go ahead.
can we pick up where they are in long-range sensors?
You can triangulate the message.
Got reason science.
No, that is going to be a reason con checked by either the helm or navigation officer. And it'll be assisted by computers con.
Control con?
Technically you're trying to ascertain by plotting. So it would not be control, it would actually be a reason con check.
Okay, that's also really good.
Difficulty is 3.
I have an astronav focus. Can I use it?
Yes.
I'd like to use momentum on this, if this is okay.
Go for it.
And assisted by computers con as well.
Right. I can't seem to roll for the ship, so...
Someone did.
I did it.
You got 3.
It's in your Discord, Iva.
Captain, it is 1 light year from our current position.
Honored lady, I would like to observe the battle, if I may.
Captain...
It may be relevant. But this is your space, not mine.
Okay, in a few minutes, I'm gonna have to run upstairs and grab something. I'll be right back. Well, I'll be right back in a few minutes. I'll leave in a few minutes. I'm sorry.
Very well. But do not go any further than the 1 light year from this course.
Thank you very much, honored lady. Helm, move us closer. 1 light year.
Aye, Captain.
All stations, yellow alert.
Aren't we already at yellow alert?
Yeah, it's a standing yellow alert.
And then I briefly look around. Oh, never mind. Like, I keep forgetting that I'm on a starship every so often.
As you come out of warp, you notice that the Klingons, the MR, is engaged in battle with an unknown assailant.
Sensor reading from the unknown assailant, please.
Which one's that? Reason science? GM?
Yes, it would be reason science assisted by the ship's sensor and science. Difficulty is 0. Need the assist from the ship.
Computers and science, you said?
Sensor science.
Hello.
So it is 3 momentum, and you can ask 1 question, plus you have Studious.
No, I do not.
So you get the 1, you have 3 floating science, so you're currently at max momentum. And then you have to ask, you can have that 1 free momentum spend to ask a question.
Well, what do the sensors tell me about the ship?
You need to be more specific.
Well, I mean, I'd ask the question after the sensors tell me.
Okay, well, it's a smaller vessel. You currently have no data in your banks or in the computer system at all of what it is.
So it's an unknown alien ship.
Correct.
Okay, I'll ask you a question, and then after that, can I ask what's her name, Karana, if she recognizes it once I ask you the question?
I'll go ahead and tell you that Krana does not recognize the vessel.
Okay, I guess my question would be, considering the damage of both ships, does it pose a great danger of destroying the Klingon ship, being obviously smaller than it, or would the Klingon ship be all right?
The Klingon ship does appear to be taking damage, while the smaller vessel appears to haven't really been suffered any damage.
That's interesting.
You have 6 momentum.
Communications. Is there any way we can boost their distress signal to go further out to alert other ships in the area?
I can certainly give it a try, Captain.
Do it.
While she does that, I walk over to the captain and I say, we might not have to actually attack. Our ship looks to be considerably bigger than that one. If we get between the Klingon ship and them, they might just leave.
Is the Klingon ship still in fighting form?
The Klingon right now, currently, like I'm about to initiate more battle sequence here, but currently the smaller vessel is attacking the Klingon vessel from behind, and they are currently trying to do evasive maneuvers and return fire.
The Klingon vessel is considerably more damaged than their attacker.
Stand by.
What would I roll to boost the signal? Or attempt to do so? Did I forget to push the button again?
No, I heard you.
Daring science, maybe?
Sorry, I was typing something out.
Oh.
Cool. Captain, while I do understand your orders, amplifying the signal may give away our presence as a Federation ship in Klingon space.
No way to mask it then, I imagine?
No, sir.
I don't think there's much we can do from this distance.
The Klingons are currently firing back at the alien vessel, and they miss while one of their phaser banks overloads. Actually, no, they would hit. Oh, damn.
Yikes.
Hooray for 360 turrets on the bottom of those damn things.
Communications, is there any signals coming from the enemy, the alien vessel? Any attempts to even mar their signal or interfere?
Is there?
You'll need to spend 1 momentum from your sensor scan.
I mean, we have momentum to spare, so...
Feel free.
Yeah? Cool, yes. 1 momentum spent.
Yes, there is outgoing communications from there, but it's really, you have to make a insight engineering assisted by the ship's communication security, and I'm going to spend momentum to make this a difficulty, or sorry, a threat to make it difficulty 3 and complication 2.
Ooh. Okay. Do you guys mind if I go ahead and take another momentum?
I don't think we have any left.
You have 5.
I thought we had 5.
Oh.
Cool, I didn't hear any objections. So, yeah. Going to spend a momentum for an extra die.
Okay, I'm going to go to go grab a cord to charge my phone. I'll keep going. Just update me when you're done.
Cool. And focus and subspace communication.
Yes.
Three.
Plus the ships.
What is the ship rolling?
Yeah.
Communication.
Plus security.
Security. Okay.
So back to full then.
Yep.
I would like to, while everyone's doing this, I would like to call Karana over to my station away from the rest of the crew and ask her, is it normal for Klingon warriors to basically send out a distress call like this? It seems kind of fishy to me.
Captain, I've intercepted their outgoing communications, but it's in a language I've never even heard, let alone am familiar with. I'm concerned this may be a first contact situation.
Translate what you can.
Reason science, right?
Wow. Apparently I can't roll for the... That's interesting. Yeah, it'll be reason science. Difficulty 5. Complication 2. To try and decipher the language.
Focus in linguistics, burning momentum for just in general a prayer.
If you're gonna burn momentum and go for it that way, you might want to burn 3 or even all 6 and get either 4 or 5 dice.
Sure, I'll burn 3. And that would give me a total of 4 dice?
Yeah, that would give you 4 dice, because she rolls 2 naturally. She bought 2 for 4 dice.
Cool. I need to boost my science, because it ain't shit. Haha, 2.
May I assist in any way?
No, because it's in the earpiece, you would have to hear the language.
Aha.
Captain, the linguistic shape of this language is nothing I can say I'm familiar with in the slightest.
Very well. We'll examine it more in detail later. Continue recording as much as you can. We'll have to let someone else deal with this. That particular problem.
Question to the GM. When I rolled to intercept the language the first time, I spent momentum to do it and succeeded, so shouldn't my untapped potential come into play? Oh, I guess it didn't matter because you maxed out when I did it. So never mind. But
You
for
bought
future
2 dice,
reference,
right?
is that... Yeah?
Yeah, she bought 2 dice this time.
But you didn't...
No, not this time. I was just asking to like, because I don't really understand untapped potential. So when I was intercepting it, not when I was trying to translate it, I bought a die and succeeded.
Right.
So I was just wondering, in general, is that when untapped potential comes into play?
Roll me 1 challenge dice.
Cool. Sure.
That sounds ominous.
No, it's you literally have to. Okay, no, you don't get the momentum.
Okay,
See, you roll a bonus moment. You roll 1 challenge dice. If you receive a bonus momentum equal to the roll of the challenge dice, it has 1 point of threat, or as 1 point of threat if an effect is rolled.
Cool. Gotcha.
Just so you guys are aware of what's going on with the battle, the Klingon vessel is taking heavy damage. One more hit and she's done for.
Okay,
Captain,
then
if I'm
in
not
that
out of
case-
line, could I suggest we provide a distraction so that the Klingon ship may escape? I'm aware that probably wouldn't be their first choice of action, but it would be the choice that they have.
And I'm gonna look at the captain and go, Captain, one more hit, they're done. If we're gonna do something, we better do it now.
Captain, we have orders, and none of those Klingons will thank you if we save them. They'll only be pissed at you that you didn't let them die.
I'm aware, Doctor.
Everybody's lucky Mir's not on the bridge right now.
Helm, prepare to continue course at full speed.
Are you warping out?
I'm having the helm stand by to do so. I'm hoping the Klingons pull something out.
They do not. They miss on their next shot. Klingons manage to evade. So I'm literally passing this to you before I do their next round. So
Suggestions?
Can we get our Klingon friend here to hail them and find out what exactly is going on and if they actually want help?
Honored lady?
Chances are they've sensed our ship already anyway.
I don't know if we have that sort of time.
It's either now or never, Captain.
Can we specifically scan the ships for weapons, configurations, and weaknesses and things like that? Basically try to find out if there's a way we can get in there and do some damage to the enemy ship without being as badly damaged as the Klingon ship was in their first round of fighting.
Question for GM then. If we're gonna do that, can I have like the ops tasks?
that's already covered by someone.
Okay, never mind then.
We didn't hear you, Kithron. I don't believe. Or wait, I think you did ask the, you did suggest about the lady doing the, possibly calling them.
And then I also heard your suggestion just now, although I already forgot it.
Basically,
to know
just
if
try
we
to
can-
figure out the weapons configuration because the Klingons are badly damaged, and that other smaller ship appears to have not been damaged very much. And it doesn't make sense for me why Klingons would call for help while not doing very much damage to an enemy ship. So if we can figure out why they're doing that much damage to the Klingons, then maybe we can get in there and quickly help them without falling the same fate.
Right now, I want to give you this. She is currently clenching her fists, like she desperately wants to fight.
Very well.
What if we
Red
just have her
alert.
take over the
Helm,
ship?
put us between us and that ship. We're engaging them.
Aye, Captain.
You're. I'm gonna say right now, you're currently at long range, so you're going to have to do a warp jump to get in between.
Card maneuvering. Nice.
So I guess as soon as the klaxon goes off, Moore would call up to the bridge. Captain, what's going on up there?
Anyway, this is going to be a daring con check. Difficulty 2. Complication range 2, because you are essentially doing a warp jump and trying to maneuver in between two ships that are actually in decent close range of each other.
While they're doing that, can I go ahead and scan for particularly weapons signatures? I know the Klingons use Disruptor Type 3, I believe. I want to see what kind of weapons the Breen is using and why it's doing so much damage.
I'm not gonna make you roll for it, but you're gonna have to spend a momentum. You should have asked that at the beginning, but I will allow it this time. But you have to spend a momentum to answer that, or to get the answer for it.
Feel free to spend the momentum, though.
All
That's
right,
a good
spend-
question.
So, you want me to perform a warp jump between and get in between the two ships?
That's right.
Aye, Captain. In that case, do shields automatically go down while at warp?
No.
No.
If at red alert, shields stay at full. Red alert, shields are up no matter what you do.
Okay. In that case, going to warp. What would you say that is?
Yeah, I think you missed what the GM asked for.
Daring con assisted by engines con, I believe it was.
Right, sorry.
Difficulty 2, complication range 2, I believe.
Difficulty 2, complication range 2.
Task roll. I'd like to use some momentum.
Feel free. Spend determination if you want.
Actually, you know what? I'd like to use bold.
Giving threat.
Bold con. That means if I miss with one of them, I get to re-roll because I gave you threat.
Okay. So you're gonna be threat for 1 extra dice?
Yes.
Okay, roll away.
I'm gonna re-roll one of those.
The ship assists too, as a note.
Yes.
That's con engines?
I sent you the message of what the weapon type is.
All right, thank you.
I'm not trying to ignore you, I'm just trying to mitigate it.
Well, I asked like 4 different questions and I didn't get an answer from any of them.
Well, you can only get 1 question per momentum spend.
No, I wasn't talking about that. I was just talking about giving suggestions in general.
I didn't hear many suggestions.
Okay, that's 3 momentum for you guys.
It's probably because we end up talking over each other.
Yeah, I think that was the issue. Sorry about that.
So in a daring maneuver, you manage to maneuver the ship in between the Klingon and the unknown assailant.
Can we spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative real quick?
Yes, you can.
I would like to go on ahead and open up with phasers on the attacking ship.
Just so you know, the ship is at 1, or it has lost 1 power.
Yeah, I'm tracking.
So you're gonna fire on the assailant.
If that's all right with the captain, I want to I want to clear it, but that's what I want to do. I want to inform you and then make sure I get clearance from the captain.
Fire.
All right. And let's see. Do that. I have a focus. Full security. Firing. Ship. Weapon security. I believe that does hit. And remind me what Versatile 2 does again?
You can use it to gain extra damage, bypass, gain penetration, which is piercing 2 to bypass 2 resistance.
Okay. I think I'm going to use both of those to bypass resistance. So that should be 4 piercing total. Should only be 1 breach, I thought, but okay. Unless it took down their shields.
They dropped their shields.
Okay. Okay.
Captain, I recommend setting... I know this is not my position, but I actually recommend setting up a hail right now to attempt to end this early.
It is now the enemy's go. And they turn around and warp out.
And warp out.
You currently are getting an incoming hail.
Captain, we're receiving a hail.
Put it on speaker.
Doop doop. And then it's done.
This is the Klingon vessel, Amar. Federation dog, what are you doing in our space?
Helm, resume course. Full speed, please.
Good answer. Good answer. Apply to you too.
Comms, feel free to go back to normal communications. Do not respond.
How much power are you using to go to warp? Because I need to know.
Oh,
A lot of it.
we've got 7.
You probably want to use all of it.
Definitely not all of it.
Well, they're not no threat to us.
Yeah, but if
Yeah,
they
we
jump
clearly want
after
them to
us and we have a battle with almost no power left because we made a warp jump, it's not going to be good.
Exactly.
Current power total is 7.
Yes.
Power 6, please. I'm also going to call down the engineering. As much power as you can get us, please. Or is it actually, sorry, the player screwed up. Is it engineering that can do the power thing, or is it ops?
Engineering. I mean, anyone can technically do it.
Oh, okay. I'll send that message to engineering. As much power as you can get, please. We might need more of it in the near future.
All right, so you're dumping 6 power to go to warp.
That's the order. Whether or not the con guy does that is a different matter.
Heading to warp. I'm sorry, I had a bit of stuff on my mind, and this internet is not great.
You don't need a roll for this, but you can if you want. Control or daring con, assisted by the ship's engines and con.
Daring con,
Control or daring. Alright, you gain 2 momentum. And you successfully go to warp with no power. And you have successfully fled the engagement.
So what roll did I have to make to get the power back?
On that though, we are gonna you're not gonna have to make a roll, just so you know.
Okay.
But we are gonna go to scene 3. Unless you have anything else you want to do.
Stand down to yellow alert, please.
Standing down.
If any of you are versed in linguistics or code breaking, anyone who's free, please work on the new language you may have discovered. And also tactical, please examine the ship records of our sensors. Please find out what sort of ship we're dealing with.
I will
Yes,
do that,
sir.
sir.
Lieutenant Commander, you have the bridge. I'll be in my room.
Yes, Captain.
I'm going to look at Matisse and say, it feels strange to have a first contact end in bloodshed before in helping a technical enemy of ours.
I must admit, I agree with you on that case, but at least it wasn't by our design.
Okay, so at this point, if you're resuming course, you're going to be entering the Dolium System. And this is a scene change, so you'll go down 1 momentum. Also, for clarification, all ship power has been restored during sea change, so you arrive in the Dolium System. Long-range sensors show that there are 12 planets in all in the system, 2 of which are Class M. You're currently on the outer edge of the system.
Captain, we have arrived.
Very well. Sensor scans, please. Let's find out who's here.
Be a reason science check assisted by sensors and science. Difficulty 1.
As an aside, there's an engineering station on the bridge, isn't there?
Yeah.
I don't think there's one on the Constitution.
Engineering station?
The time.
Yeah, there's one. There's a console for pretty much about everything on the bridge.
Mir just likes being in engineering, but if called to the bridge, he'd go.
Okay, I was just making sure.
He said Mir.
Okay,
Well, it's
Smart
more-
thing. This is how I
so, alright, real quick. Do you want me to take threat for that complication, or do you want to come up with something, or do you want to spend 2 momentum to get rid of the complication?
I mean, you can take it as threat if you want.
Alright, I'll take the threat.
So what do we see? Captain, there are 12 planets in all in the system, 2 of which are Class M. Okay, that's not even part of it.
Right, it's just fine.
Sorry. I'm also picking up an EMF signal coming from the 5th planet in the system. However, I do not detect a subspace signal coming from the 3rd planet, which has a small colony of Zaldans on it, about 15,000 or more.
You do detect a subspace signal coming from the 3rd planet.
My bad. I detect a subspace signal coming from the 3rd planet, which has a small colony of Zaldans on it, about 15,000 or more.
Communications, can you listen in on that, please?
Yes, sir. And I would try to intercept that, which would be
It's comms plus security. Or sorry, insight. Insight engineering assisted by comms security. Difficulty 5.
Sweet. Oh, okay. Complication range, just the one,
Just the one.
and a focus for subspace communications.
That will work.
Sweet.
Are you buying
Would
dice?
you guys mind? Yeah, I was gonna say, did you guys mind if I spend some momentum for this?
Not at all.
Feel free. What's communications cool thing again? I might have forgotten how it works. The roll thing.
It's insight plus engineering assisted by the ship with comms plus security.
Oh no, I meant each position usually has a special thing they get. Can't remember what communications is. I'm looking it up in the book. I was wondering if anyone happened to know it.
I do not, but by my math, I should have 4 dice. If I spend 3 momentum, I mean.
Yeah, if you spend 3 momentum, you should have 4 dice.
I should stop buying dice because it never works out for me.
You two are on RNG's shit list.
Would the value compassion through understanding help at all?
To like reroll the dice?
Possibly?
Okay, so you have the one complication and a 0. It is difficulty 5, so you have 3 successes right now.
Oh, I suppose if you spent one, if you spent your determination and turned it into a 1.
Do you have caution? Do you have cautious?
I do not.
You can use your determination if you like to reroll both those zeros. But you're gonna have to give me
yes.
Okay, so you're gonna tell me a value that you think that might work.
Hang on one second while I move away from the running water. My thoughts are compassion through understanding, simply because Matisse figures if you can understand those that you have not encountered, you can kind of eliminate some of the animosity between peoples if you can get on a communicating level.
I will allow it. So you have to use your point of determination. Reroll. You can reroll the 2 dice.
And still 2 zeros, but not a complication.
Unfortunately, you cannot break the encryption that the subspace signal is using. However, I will allow, if you want to spend a momentum, you can attempt to trace it.
Sure, let's trace it.
The subspace signal seems to be appearing to go to the 3rd planet in the system, and it seems to be just outside where the Zaldan colony is at.
I relay that information to my captain. Oh, Captain, my captain. I failed at the task you assigned. However, maybe this will soften the blow. I know where it's coming from. Imagine that said with a lot more ship etiquette, though.
I don't know. You are an ensign, but all right. Can we get a sensor reading from this distance on the traced location? Can we see if it's a building or a ship of some kind?
You have to move in closer. You're at the outer edge of the system right now.
How far away can these people detect anything in the star system? Can they detect starships?
I was about to ask that.
You would have to run a scan to find out what's going on, but you need to be closer.
Oh, I know it's a scan to go on. I'm just checking to see if we know from the computer banks if we know the tech level of these people, if they have like radioscopes or telescopes looking up in the sky. Like, I don't know how.
Okay, so give me like an insight science check, assisted by the ship's computers and the science. Difficulty 0.
Lieutenant Commander Kithron, if you would, please.
Kithron?
Working.
I rolled.
Sorry. Oh right, I have that tab muted. There we go.
And the computer is going to kind of relay and speak out the device, or what is known. The Zolan use a primitive radio type frequency technology. Their ships are equivalent to 20th century rocket technology from Earth. They are, though, in currently development stage of developing warp drive.
They will definitely know we're here.
You can spend, from that analysis, you currently have 2 floating momentum, unless you want to bank them, and you can ask me questions.
I have no pressing questions right now. I have a different plan, unless Kithron has something they really want to ask. Or if anyone has any suggestions on a meta level.
I'm pretty sure they can detect us with that technology, but I guess I could ask just to make sure if they could detect us.
Feel free. If you feel that you want to ask. Trust your gut.
Do y'all want me to use that 1 momentum, though, to do that?
Well, you'll have the bonus, so you don't have to spend the current 2 floating.
Oh, we have a bonus floating around.
That's because of the science.
Oh yeah, science officer. Yeah, I mean, we have one question. We spend it or lose it. So
yeah, I think that's the main question.
Go for it. Yeah.
All right, GM, that's the question then.
It's going to take me a while to type it out. I'll just tell you. The ship could technically, if it uses the right, essentially, plot a good course to the 3rd planet, you should be able to avoid detections because their technology they rely on is more than likely deep space radar, and along with telescopes to detect objects. The ship is technically small enough that you could easily avoid detection.
Okay, I relay that to the captain.
Very well. Navigation, please plot a course. Helm, once that course is plotted out, carry it out as per suggested by the Lieutenant Commander. Lieutenant Commander, if you wish to supervise, feel free.
So I move from my station to observe the helm and navigation station.
This is a real comfy chair, by the way.
I bet. It'll be mine one day.
All right. I'm not going to make you roll for it, but you successfully navigate around, and you're now currently in orbit of the 3rd planet.
This is indeed the same planet from that episode, right?
What episode?
TOS Space Nazis?
I don't think so.
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The Zaldans were mentioned one time for like 30 seconds on Next Generation.
Yep.
Lieutenant Murd to the bridge, please.
Now that you said it, though,
Yes,
I kind of
Captain.
wish it was.
I comply and head towards the bridge.
Doctor, to the bridge. Unless the doctor's already there, but I'm summoning the doctor to the
Nope.
bridge.
The doctor is standing literally right next to you.
Doctor to the... Oh, sorry, doctor, you're already here. Right then. Sensor ratings, please, on the... Whoever's giving out that signal. Communications, keep an ear out. Make sure no one actually is radioing that they see a big flying saucer in the sky.
Yes, sir.
Okay, give me a reason science assisted by sensor science. Difficulty 2. I'm gonna spend a momento.
Yours truly?
All right, I'll spend a momentum.
Or sorry, threat, but yeah, it's for science.
Damn.
Don't forget the ship.
Sensor science, you said?
Yes. So you gain your momentum back.
And you gain your threat back, so really it's a give and take relationship.
Actually, I gain an extra threat back if you want me to take it, or you can take the complication.
I'm gonna say keep the threat.
Yeah, I think the complication would have been like our scanning kind of like sets off all their alarms, and that seems not good. So maybe not that.
Okay, so
I would assume I've made it to the bridge by now.
No, you're trapped in a time loop. You'll never make it.
He just holds onto a rail, closes his eyes, and just goes, "I hate this part."
Call back.
Yeah,
As
it
soon as
was.
you get there.
Yeah. It's also kind of entertaining as a smoker trying to do a calm, gentle voice. So,
You just have a husky voice, sultry. I don't know.
well, no, that's why Ray kind of talks like this. Just really soft and, yeah. Because none of my other characters, they all sound like this.
it's in. Go ahead, I was making sure you get the message.
Yeah, I just got it. Captain, the subspace signal is gone, and a Tetrion power signal coming from a cave in a system nearby, a mountain from the colony site. So basically, there's a Tetrion power signal near a mountain.
Tetrion.
Has Lieutenant Mirror arrived yet?
I mean, I would assume I have.
You have 1 bonus momentum to ask questions.
Oh yeah, right.
Does it match the signal from the ship? The Tetrion power signal? Sir, it is an exact match of the ship that we encountered fighting the Klingons.
Oh boy.
Right.
Somebody's been giving them technology, I would assume.
No, it's not. It's sorry, I might have phrased that wrong. The signal is coming from inside of a mountain, or inside of a mountain where there is a cave system that's near the colony site.
But it's not coming from the colony itself.
It's not coming from the colony itself.
Okay, so maybe they're spying on the colony? I don't know. But yeah, I relay that information to the captain.
Right. Does anyone wish to enlighten me on Tetrion? Who uses it and why? And if you were down there in a cave on some planet and you didn't care about the Prime Directive, why would you be doing this? To what end?
So far, we don't have much information on Tetrion-based weapons or energy signatures other than basically it's a particle that is used sometimes, but no culture we know of uses it for weapons or energy.
You could technically spend momentum to understand what type of the particle it is.
Feel free to spend that.
Okay, go ahead and spend that.
Do we know about the do we know much about the Romulans at this point? Like, has Jim Kirk come across them so that we know what the ships look like?
We're in like season 2 of TOS, so yeah, that was season 1, so I think it's been enough.
So we know that. Do we know that you can that some cloaks use Tetrion, and that you can kind of like track cloaks?
I don't think so.
I think that's tachyon.
I was reading something that it was Tetrion, but I think that may just be Cardassians and not Romulan. But that's also a cloak system, not a weapon system.
Captain, it seems to be made up of epsilon radiation particles, and that has a very short half-life. Out of character, I have no idea what any of this means.
Basically, go ahead for whoever was going to.
Sorry, I was about to say it's technobabble.
That also being said, think of it this way: uranium has a half-life of like 500 years. So if it's got a short half-life, it just means that its radiation signature will decrease very rapidly.
Okay.
Right. How much are they generating enough power to power a full-on colony or base? Or is it small, like for a house? Or can we determine that?
You can spend the momentum.
I'll spend a momentum.
One second, guys.
Everything okay?
Think so.
It's a pretty substantial amount. It's enough power to facilitate a starship, colony, or even a base of operation for years. Whoever is here, they don't plan on leaving anytime soon.
Suggestions? That's a question open to anyone here, including you, honored lady, of course.
We could investigate, sir.
That could make things worse.
What technically are the parameters of our mission? So long as we complete that as directed, then wouldn't we be free to investigate as the captain sees fit?
We were sent to determine what was disrupting trade, and my understanding is that it seemed to be coming from here somewhere. By description, that seems like a base of operations, and if the technology is similar to the ship we saw weeks ago, then it is very possible this is a base we are looking at, and we are to move down. But the specifics, of course, prime directive, not to lecture, but we can't be seen doing any of this. Though those who are there, they can see us all they want, for there are targets at the moment. Possibly.
Then it sounds like an away team is probably the most prudent course of action.
With the least amount of people possible to maintain stealth.
I do kind of want to take a look at that generator, Captain.
Captain, would a generator of this type be able to be built by civilization in this stage of development?
I do not believe so, Lieutenant. This is Earth, this type of information age technology, rocket age technology, I should say. It would not be able to harness it very well. Nuclear energy, perhaps, but Tetrion, it seems a bit beyond them. To the power levels that they're generating, I don't see it. Plus, if they were going to build it, they'd build it in an open plain or in a city, I would imagine.
Captain, I have an idea. If we do plan to go down as an away team, we scan the Zaldans themselves and try to make ourselves look like them. That way, if for some reason we are outnumbered by whoever's down there in the mountain, they will just assume that we are locals that have wandered around.
Doctor, do you believe you could accomplish this if we have the proper scans?
Was that question to me?
Yes.
Okay, so I had to grab food at the front door for like the last 45 seconds, so I didn't hear anything about after scanning them.
They were court-martialing the doctor. It was a whole thing.
No, the question was
Not
the
again.
suggestion was that we get a scan and of the locals, and then I turned to you and said and was suggest that we disguise ourselves as them. Then the captain turned to you and asked, Doctor, if that's something that you can accomplish if we get the right scans.
I don't see why not, Captain. So I would suggest you be thorough.
You heard the doctor?
I'm not gonna make you roll for it. I'm just gonna say you got it to speed up things. If you're going to do the disguise route, you're gonna be able to get all the information you need to make proper disguises and stuff like that for the away team. I'm gonna turn out the Zoldans. They pretty much look like humans except for they have webbed fingers.
Huh.
I don't mean to
How
put a
much water
damper
does
on.
this planet have? And how much of the civilization is under it?
Sorry, what?
How much water does the civilization have?
The fifth planet is actually, I mean, I'll give it to you. That would have been a momentum spend, but the planet is mostly covered in water. Their cities are actually, a lot of their cities are kind of half on land, half on water, and they've even engineered some to be floating on water.
In theory, Captain, if we can avoid those cities, is the mountain away from any city areas?
Okay, so here's the thing. That's the fifth planet. You're on the third planet, which is much more rockier. Essentially, it's kind of closer to what Mars would have been like billions of years ago. It has some water, but mostly it's land. And the colony site it's kind of near a giant lake bed, which there is a mountain peak near the actual colony site.
Got it.
Lieutenant Mary, you're about to say something?
Yeah. If I were to go, I don't think any of these people are my size, so a disguise wouldn't exactly work for me.
We might need to avoid taking you then.
Very well.
Unless you want me to shave you.
At that, he actually hisses. He hisses at the doctor.
You would have to be shaven, and your face would have to be reconstructed to look, remotely humanoid enough that you could bypass as one of them.
Oh yeah, no, they'd have to like cut my ears and all. No,
It's nothing Lieutenant Commander Sean couldn't help with.
If you want to know more about the Zoldan people, it would have to be a momentum spend.
Captain, I would recommend just taking a small away team to the side of the mountain away from the settlement and just getting at it from that way, trying to stay out of sight as much as possible. Because surgery to alter even an Andorian's looks is going to be difficult. We'd have to get rid of our antenna.
We don't have to get rid of them, and we've already kind of established that we can manage doing.
And we could just wear hoods.
Hoods is good. I'm okay with hoods. Hoods are fine.
Either way, we should decide who's going and promptly.
Yeah, I'm gonna start giving myself threat here.
Captain, I would suggest me, the first officer, the security officer, and maybe the communications officer in case we need to speak or translate a different language.
Go.
I'm just gonna let you guys know. All of you can go down, and some of you can play supporting characters going down. Like, I don't think you would all want to take the bridge crew down for just in case purposes. I'm not just letting you guys know here. But where the case is at, it's far enough away from the colony site that you should be fine without disguises.
XO.
Mort just wants to look at the generator, so.
XO, Chief of Security, and Chief of Engineering. And Security, if you wish to bring down any security team with you, you can bring one, and that's it. Go, please.
Aye, sir.
May I go with them, Captain? I have experience on the ground.
You have experience on what, sorry?
I have most of my experience is on the ground.
Well, Security, you just got yourself a battle doctor. Go on, Doctor.
Ooh,
Captain,
combat medic.
if I may suggest for my standing orders, I have experience with computers and decryption if I go with you on the away mission. But if I stay here, I could also attempt to continue translating this language and alerting you should I intercept any messages concerning your presence.
Oh, I'm staying up here. I'm setting down the XO. Regulations are very clear on this sort of thing. I will be assisting you in these translations, however.
Understand.
And Ensign, if it worries you, I can use computers as well, fairly well.
So can I.
I have nothing but faith in your skills.
If you, of course, need any... Go.
Transporter room 1, let's go.
All right, who is all going down?
The doctor's
Shron,
going down.
Chief of Security's going down, and I'll be taking Let me see here. I'll be taking the other Andorian down, Talus Schathrenner.
Okay.
Lieutenant Moore's going too.
So 5 of you?
Yeah, there'll be 5 total in the away party.
And your transport room can all do 6.
I think the XO is coming with us as well.
That was kind of the XO.
Oh, okay.
If someone
Someone
wants to
wanna take
play
down-
Talus, go on ahead.
You can take another security or engineering or person if you want. Or science? I don't know how to help you people.
I mean, I think a communication officer would be great down there.
I mean, yeah, personally, but
That's what I've suggested.
After a brief moment, and I'm sitting there, and they've gone. Go on, communications officer.
Matisse almost like pops out of her seat, like losing her like cool facade for a bit, pops right up, gathers herself, pulls her skirt back down, and says, "Understood, Captain."
I'd run.
She runs.
We're
Does
at
this
the
leave just me and Farva on the bridge?
And me.
Okay.
so we're at the quartermaster or whatever, getting our phasers and tricorders and communicators.
Okay.
I'm grabbing an engineering bag. You never
Yeah,
know.
the doctor's gonna be is gonna be showing up at the transporter room with all that equipment. So
Okay.
it's like
I just need to know if you're taking Type 3 phaser rifles with you. Or the equivalent of a phaser rifle, essentially.
the doctor's definitely not.
No.
Okay, so standard equipment?
Yeah, standard equipment.
Alright.
I was debating on taking one for me, but no.
Alright, you all meet up in the transporter room. And you're staying on the pads.
Energize.
Good sound. Very
that is
good
a-
sound.
That is a magical
So
sound.
satisfying. So satisfying.
I don't have ASMR, but like the TOS bridge sound, the certain sound affecting Crusader Kings 2, and
Okay. So you find yourself planetside. You are standing in essentially a fairly large forest. You are currently at the base of the mountain. The trees are actually extremely tall, almost like redwoods from Earth. A lot of exotic creatures, birds, and stuff like that you can see kind of skirting around the area.
I immediately have my tricorder out, and I motion for security chief to move his people about as he sees fit.
I want to scan for any hostile life. It's like anything I can mark as a predator.
That's basically what I'm doing.
Okay, so Clithron, give me a reason science check.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be if are you scanning just for any hostile?
Basically, any life form that's not a bird.
Difficulty 0.
I would also like to take my tricorder out and scan for that energy.
You don't really detect anything that would be large enough to be a threat to you right now. But you do gain 2 bonus momentum. Is it Rake? Is that right?
Yeah, rake.
Okay, Rake, give me a reason engineering difficulty 2. You're now at max momentum. You do detect the epsilon radiation particles, and they are emitting from up the mountain.
Lieutenant Commander, I think I found the particles we were sent down here to find. They're headed up the mountain. Should you like us to follow them?
Very well, let's go.
Give me a control plus engineering check difficulty 2 to follow the power readings. Well, the source of the emissions. Okay, you're already at max momentum anyway. So, you
My
easily
sacrifice to RNGs has worked.
you did. So you do manage to follow the power reins up the mountaintop. On your trek way up the mountain, everyone you guys, as you're falling up there, you kind of get the eerie feeling that kind of goosebumps in a way that something's out there.
Can I scan the horizon for any humanoid-like silhouettes? Like,
Give
not,
me
not with a tricorder, but with my eyes.
yeah. Give me an insight plus security. Difficulty is going to be 3.
I would
Okay.
also like to try and use like my empathy to sense like any emotions or like kind of something that's beyond basic needs, so maybe not an animal. See what's like around in our general area.
That's a good idea. You're sensing ice cold from Azure.
I'm gonna use bold security and give you 3 threat.
You're going to roll 2 dice.
I'm gonna gain an extra 2 dice, yes.
Which one of us is security again? Is Sean the chief of security?
Yeah.
I'm gonna re-roll that complication real quick because of my bold.
Alright.
Can I assist in any way?
No.
If I let him know? Okay, cool.
Okay, it's the first roll and the last one is the re-roll for that complication. My internet's being slow.
Okay. You do notice someone. You don't get a good look, but it appears to be kind of humanoid, and they are far enough away, but they do appear to be following your path. They're kind of like...
Yeah, I get you. I'm gonna hold up my hand in a clenched fist.
I stop. I look at him. What's up?
We're being followed.
It's more than that, sir. I feel a predatory instinct. We're being hunted.
How far away are we from the cave entrance?
You have to do a momentum spin for that.
Do it.
All right.
Could that come out of my floating, or is that gone?
That's gone.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, you can go ahead and spend the momentum for that. Because I was thinking if we're close enough, we could just go hide inside the mouth of the cave, make sure there's nobody in there, and then see what the other guy does.
Okay, Rake, you're pretty positive you're close.
Okay, so I turn to the away team and I say, we're pretty close. I want both security officers in the back. I want chief of security in the front. As soon as we get to the mouth of the cave, I want to know how many life forms are inside, and if we can tell if they're, what species they are. And if there's none, I want to be just on the inside of the cave mouth with our phasers pointed outwards.
Will do, sir.
Sir.
All right, let's go.
And me and Talus just we nonchalantly drift to the back of the group.
We don't have 3? I thought we had 3 security.
No.
I think we only have me and Talus.
We brought Matisse.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Teehee.
And you have the doctor.
All right, so I'll be up front, and while I'm running towards or moving more quickly than before towards the cave, I'm gonna have my tricorder out, continuously scanning for life forms.
I can tell you now, life forms are everywhere.
Right inside the cave too?
There's life forms inside the cave. There's life forms outside the cave. I mean, it's everywhere.
By life forms, I'm not talking about birds and squirrels.
Then roll me a reason science check.
Difficulty?
Unknown. You just passed difficulty because it was 2. You are detecting humanoid life finds essentially kind of all around you and inside the cave.
Okay, so I turn to Lieutenant Commander Sean and I let him know that. And I say, I think we should stand just outside the cave, but behind rocks and trees and all that good stuff, and keep our eyes out for anyone approaching. I don't think we can go inside the cave without basically being ambushed.
We can't stand here all day, Ixo.
But if we look and can see exactly how many are out here, then we might be able to assess the threat better. Right now, one guy saw one other person, and my tricorder is picking up way more than that. So we're going to have to hunker down and look around.
All right, you make your way to the mouth of the cave.
I mean, I follow the lieutenant commander if she does.
Okay, I need to know who's in front.
That would be me.
Roll me a fitness security check, difficulty 4.
So I'm spending momentum, right, guys?
Yes.
You might as well spend the
yeah.
determination.
Yes.
All right, so I can, let's see. I'm looking at my, wait, determination is if I'm using a value, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to tell me what the value is.
I got life is precious and delicate. I got intuition is key. And the other 2 definitely really wouldn't mean anything. Unless you count
intuition,
endurance,
I would count the intuition is key.
Okay. So what's that put me at 4?
You'll get, it's technically 3 dice that would have been rolling, but you roll 2 dice, you're gonna get a 1 automatic critical success, so you're gonna have 2. You're at 2 successes right now. If you buy dice, it will be 3 momentum. If you get an extra dice.
So I already have 2, and I have to roll 3, correct?
You need 2 more successes. Because the difficulty is 4.
Can I use a focus in survival?
Sure.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
So many dice. Yeah.
That's a 3, I think.
Yeah.
That is at 3. Who is all around you? Is everyone?
Moore was literally right behind her.
I think the others were kind of
like you all. Is everyone within, say, 5 meters of each other, or like all within 5 meters, like as a group?
No, no. Sean is a little bit back. He's probably about 7 or 8 meters out.
Oh well.
Moore would be definitely within 5 meters.
Yeah, the doctor would too.
Okay.
Matisse is small and bald, so she is definitely within those 5 meters. Maybe 1. Just breathing right down the back of everyone's necks.
I need everybody, except for the chief of security, to roll a security plus fitness check, difficulty 3.
Okay, so that means Talus has to roll security fitness. Difficult.
No, the chief of security does not need to roll it. You bought a dice.
Oh, no. I'm talking Talus, the other security officer.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Can you roll me that with the survival focus, if that's applicable?
yeah, it's applicable. Guys, keep in mind it's a difficulty 3, so
That mine's for Talus, which is the other security officer.
Doc, are you wanting to spend the last momentum or give me threat for an extra dice?
I say spend the momentum.
Yeah, I'll spend it.
Just stuck to the chief of security. That is rule number 1: you cannot fight.
Rule number 2 is don't put a lot of points in security if your fitness is 7.
It's 8.
I'm talking about me.
I don't know how that happened.
Okay, so everybody takes 4 stress damage. All right.
Except for Talus, right?
Yes, except for you. You managed to avoid it. The people who failed it, the check, take an injury. They either it's non-lethal, so it's most likely it's not anything's broken, but you essentially fall into a pit trap.
Cool.
Sean.
And in that moment, you find yourself, Chief of Security, surrounded by 6 very tall, ugly-looking people in full body armor. It's got kind of like a bluish hue tint to it, and they are holding rifles.
Oh, crap.
Hang on.
Can we get out of the pit?
It's not just me. It's Sean and Talus. We both avoided it because I was further out.
Okay. No, wait.
So both of us are up there.
Did he not roll? I thought he rolled.
The roll that it says Lieutenant Commander Sean is Talus's roll. He got 3 successes.
Okay.
That was just to avoid the injury.
Another plug.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. He's down there.
Right.
Okay.
You need to be more specific, because I thought he was with everyone else close to the group. You were the only one hanging back.
I was the only one hanging back. He was closer to the group. Yeah, I was in the back.
Right, okay. So the whole way team is in the pit trap, because this is a very big pit trap. And you are surrounded by 6 armed, very angry-looking people, well, aliens, having their rifles pointed directly at you. And they are literally, and one of them is going to take a shot at you.
Okay.
I gotta pull up the sheet, sorry.
Probably because I was delaying. Oh, thank God.
I'm spending 2 threat to reroll that.
Oh, pff. Ooh. That's 3 stress?
Yeah, but I'm thinking I'm gonna spend threat to reroll the dice. Okay, so that is... That's just enough, 5 damage. So 5 stress.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that is enough. That thing is, it's deadly.
Yes, it is deadly. You take an injury and you are knocked out.
Is there any way for us to get out of the pit?
It's rather deep, but as they shoot him, you hear the gunfire and they shoot. He falls to the ground, and you are surrounded, and they drop a grenade.
I'm gonna try
And you
to
are
throw
all
the grenade out.
okay. I'm gonna spend threat here. So roll me. Daring security. And I'm gonna make the difficult. I'm gonna spend a bunch of threat here to make it difficulty 5.
Can I use I mean, I got a bunch of values that I feel like could apply here, but I can go with every man and rifleman first because I've got. I mean, or no one on my team dies, or it could be worse. I mean, I feel like
I'll allow it. So yeah, you can spend your determination for it.
And can I use either hand-to-hand combat or survival?
No, I don't think survival will be applicable for this. Neither would be hand-to-hand combat.
It don't look good, boys.
So what am I rolling for you?
I mean, it's gonna be the fitness or was it daring security? Yeah, so I guess daring security, and I don't think pack tactics or triage or veteran or any of that's gonna help me.
No.
Yeah, so
So you're at 2.
I'm gonna buy another dice.
So you're gonna give me 3 threat?
Yeah.
By the way, when we see the grenade, I actually grab Matisse and like put my whole 6'7" form over her, kind of thing.
You're right. It'll be 3 threat.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Protect Matisse. 2K forever.
That is 4 successes for you. That is not enough because I set the difficulty to 5. You do manage to pick up the grenade, but it goes off in your hand, and everybody is in a blinding flash of light. You're all knocked out and unconscious.
Oh, wow.
And this is a scene change. You're not dead, by the way.
Oh, I know.
I'm not dead.
I'm not going to kill you.
Was it a shock? Was it like a shock grenade or flashbang type?
Flashbang, essentially.
Then Matisse wouldn't have been affected because I was literally covering her the entire time.
It's like a flashbang. It's technically a sonic grenade.
Okay, sonic, yes. Okay. I was going to say it wouldn't have had the flash.
Yes, you still have a hand, but it hurts.
Oh, probably a little bit of shrapnel in it.
You're not sure how long time has passed, but you all wake up and your weapons and equipment have been taken from you. You do find yourself inside a cave. You're not bounded, but you're all in essentially cages in your own individual type of cage.
How much time has passed since the away team has went down? Roughly.
I will get to that in a minute.
Sure.
So I'm in a cage alone.
Right.
How far are the cages apart?
Oh, they're probably within a meter. They're pretty close, together. But you don't have any equipment on you, and
I wasn't thinking equipment. I was thinking old school. If there are actual locks on this thing.
I'll get to it in a minute because I gotta finish this up for you guys because we're running over time. But essentially, you're trapped in metal cages like animals. You notice, though, kind of off in the distance, there actually looks like humanoid people kind of hanging, and their skin has been sort of ripped off of them. Pretty much like they've been, you know... I'll leave it to your imagination.
They've been predatorized.
They've been predatorized.
Raid was the word you were looking for, I think. They've been Ramsey Bolton. Bolton Ramsey, whatever the fuck his name was. Jesus.
Ramsey Bolton. I guess we've found people who worship the flake god.
So, in your cages, you see a couple of them kind of walking around, you know, these guys in these big metal bluish type suits. One of them who's actually extremely tall. He's like the tallest out of all. Like, he would hover over Reek. Like, he's pretty much about 7'2".
Jesus.
He is.
Question: do I think they find me attractive? Very important.
Did you take your pill or your shot?
No.
Ah, fuck.
I will have to roll, and I think everyone's gonna have to do a roll for that as well. But that's assuming that you are trying to attract attention.
I mean, it's not like we can be sneaky now. At the very least, I can be slightly more persuasive.
Okay.
You already thought you was attractive.
And here, I just thought I was being protective because you were little.
Right?
Anyway.
That's the beauty of it. You think you're doing it because you want to.
What's the name of the security guy you brought down with you?
Talus.
Talus, you know, he's awake. He seems rather nervous. You know, he doesn't know what's going on. This is his first time on the job. And the big guy kind of noticed it. He taps a little something on his, like, kind of has like a computer on his, like, wristband, in a way, on his armor. And his cell door unlocks. The big, tall alien grabs Talus by the neck, literally, collar and all, and just holds him there, strangling him.
I immediately go to the wall of my cage and start rattling it like a wild animal.
He drags poor Talus out, and literally there is a hook, a chain coming down. There is a hook at it. He takes him and literally shoves him, and literally the hook goes through his shoulder, and he's hanging there.
Ooh. I'm going to in Andorian, and I don't know any actual Andorian language. In Andorian, I'm gonna tell Talus, it's gonna be fine. I'm out of here.
I mean, he's kind of impaled on a hook. Like, we've already gone full Dead by Daylight at this point.
I want to try to yell and move my hands, gesturing towards me, trying to get the alien to take me out and put him back. But I also want to, if I can see and hear Matisse, I'm going to try to get her to try to figure out that, I mean, I guess in her brain, I don't know, because we don't have her tricorders anymore, but try to figure out that language that they were speaking, and if she can remember any patterns that they used over and over, and that maybe we can use to talk to them.
Okay, so while you're trying to do all that, the alien walks over to a table filled with various weaponry, such as knives, swords, from what appears to be all over the place. He picks up a very crude weapon, and it almost looks like a mek'leth, a Klingon mek'leth. He grabs it, holds it up, and kind of studies the weapon. more interested on how he could use it in terms for its function. He walks over to your poor security officer, and he kind of speaks out. In your language, surprisingly. These
Wait,
Klingon...
in Andorian?
No,
in
no.
Andorian or English?
In English.
Okay.
These Klingon weapons seemed rather interesting. They are crude in design, but their functionality seems... they could be functional.
Take me. I would be a better hunt than him.
You don't worry. You will have your time.
Let's make a deal. If I win, we go free. If you win, you keep us.
He kind of brushes it off, ignoring your plead, and he takes the mek'leth and slowly slices the back of the poor security officer. Straight right down the spine.
Oh.
In an instant, he drops the mek'leth and he just starts ripping the skin off from him, as you can hear his poor howling cries.
Oh.
I need everyone to make a control command check difficulty 3.
Oh boy. Oh,
Is
no.
this for
Oh my
fear or
goodness.
rage?
For fear. As you're watching him literally be gutted in front of you and skinned.
Oh.
Yeah, this
What kind of roll is
Because I
that?
was going to threaten him. Because I was
Control
going to say I was going
and-
to tell him I was going to rip his throat out with my teeth.
Control and command difficulty 3.
I'm going to rip your throat out with my teeth.
I'm terrified for the first time ever.
Ah!
I don't think that roll was a shock to anyone. So
And I guess
In my cage, I'm in a fighting stance. I am angry.
I'm angry and scared.
do you want me to give me Doc, do you want to give me threat for to roll an extra dice?
So what's the roll again?
It is control command difficulty 3.
I want to make an argument, first of all, that as a doctor, I might not be impacted as much as they are. Because I've seen stuff like this before. Also, being a veteran. I wonder if that could give me an advantage at least.
You would have to, since you're out of determination, in order for you to gain that advantage, you're going to have to challenge a value. So the only one I can see you can challenge right now, looking at your sheet, no one on my team dies. You can challenge that to gain the advantage to not... Essentially, if you use that for a point of determination, because then you have a value that you can literally use it, it could be worse. I would allow you to do where you don't have to roll for it.
Okay, we'll do that. And so if I challenge it, I have to rewrite it?
Yes.
I would definitely challenge my Andorian superiority one.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd change it to.
You don't have to decide that till the end of until the next episode, because it's gone until next episode anyway.
Which would
Okay,
be in 2
well then-
weeks.
Yeah, so I'll figure that out later. But yeah, we can challenge no one on my team dies and then use the determination for it worse to avoid this.
Okay, I am deleting it from your value, and you avoid being essentially scared to death. So anyone who failed it is essentially scared to death. And on that note, I will be ending today's session.
Ramming
no.
speed.
So much terror. So many zeros.
Oh, I
Definitely
fully.
changing my name in this campaign to Little, Small, and Bald.
And such, that ends part 1 of Unlikely Allies.
Yay.
Incidents, yo.